I've always been told, like, there's something inside of each person that is, like, what they are. Like, their peace, their love, or whatever they hold inside. And then what goes around you, like, you're not supposed to let influence who you are, like, no matter how annoyed you get, how angry you get. And I feel like that's been a theme that now that I'm at this institution, to not, like to learn and to be educated, but also not to let it change who I am, I guess. And I know a lot of people come here intending to, like, reinvent themselves and become a new person, but yeah, I guess for me that's not the case.
What does this institution mean to you? I guess this institution means like Reed College to me, but it consists of all the different levels, like admin, faculty, staff, student, and I think of the institution as really the people that make it up.
Should I read it out loud?
Education. But I guess that includes both, like, academics, classwork, faculty, what I learned from teachers, but also what I learn about the world from people around me.
A lot of not good things. A lot of bad things. Should I read the question out loud? Or
I am intaking a lot of content and learning and academics, but I'm also teaching my classmates, unfortunately, how to interact with a Black person who is loud and has opinions. And so there are times where someone in my class will say something objectively hurtful or not okay, and I have to sit there and just be like, am I going to say something about this, or am I going to keep my mouth shut and just have what I assume the normal experience is here? And more often than not, I think of myself that I have to. I feel compelled to, not only because, like, that would be, it feels like a slight to people who came before me who had to be silent, but also because that's not fair to that person. Also, because if I don't, I'm going to lay them out. So
it's my workplace. I spend a lot of time here because I work here, but also I try to think about my time being impactful and meaningful because labor is a part of my life, and I want to make sure that it's spent in a meaningful way.
I think that it means some good things and some bad things. Like, I think, to me, Reed means that I've, like, survived long enough to be continuously, like, learning and, like, being grateful to be in this environment where I can learn so, like, openly and creatively, and, like, have a lot of people around me who are really passionate about kind of everything and, like, collaborating. But I also feel like this institution has, like, taken me away from who and, like, where my community, like, really truly is, like, where, like, my family is, and has put me in a space that is just, like, really separate from the rest of the world and, like, most communities. And it also just, like, represents neoliberal hell and all of that, everything that comes with that. Yeah. It reinforces so many evil things about capitalism, like, because it's, like, such an exclusionary space. It's, like, super, like, a PWI, and, like, also, like, we have a ton of students that are, like, super, like, crazy wealthy. At the same time, like, love, like, the creative energy and the, like, sort of, for lack of a better word, like, more, like, revolutionary energy of, like, the student body. I think that's awesome. Like, the students, I think, in some ways, like, not everyone, but, like, a lot of people I find extremely inspiring. Sort of, like, how the administration operate and are, like, I would say, like, oppressive towards, like, people, like, that are working within, like, I don't know, the custodial union, or, like, within, like, student workers, like, I don't, like, it's kind of crazy that they, like, claim to be so, like, leftist and, like, pro, like, worker rights and stuff like that, and also, like, a safety school when, like, continuously Reed does things that, like, prove that that's not true, you know, for example, like, the Jacob Hoops stuff, you know what I mean, like, literally, like, out, like, giving, like, the student's address to
the student body as a whole, not necessarily individual students who might disagree, but the majority opinion seems to be in a very particular direction, and whether they're successful or not, they always advocate for a certain side, and usually that side is where I am, and so I feel like the concentration on this very specific set of values.
What does this institution mean to you? That's a good question.
I feel like it's kind of hard to answer the question because I feel like I don't have a relationship with this place as an institution, but rather with like the people that I feel are aligned with me, who have similar objectives against the ways that this institution has very systematically aimed to include, or just in exclude young.
Like we're in a bubble, maybe we just keep talking to ourselves, and it's a little bit groupthinky, but also it's my own personal opinion, so that's being echoed, so I don't feel left out, and I feel bad for people who probably do feel left out.
So to me, this institution means the freedom to explore who I am, who I can be, and gives me the resources to do so. I will say it. I don't think I've ever felt this supported when it comes to like my identity, specifically my queer identity. And there's always work to be done. Always areas to improve on. But I do think that this institution means freedom.
What does this institution mean to you? Oh, it's so beautiful.
There's a lot of power here, but there is like a cowardice to it that sometimes I think hurts me to my core. But I'll be thinking a lot about this.
This institution, what it means to me, sometimes it feels pretty restrictive. Sometimes it feels like, I don't know, like there's a lot of brick buildings here, so I just think about like a brick building that you can't get out of, and you're like really like uncomfortable, and there's a lot of good people here though.
It's a chance to explore different perspectives. Like literally, that's my entire thing. I was homeschooled, and I always wanted a place where I could learn from so many different people and different types of backgrounds. It's kind of almost a bubble when you're homeschooled, and it doesn't always mean that you're just sitting at like a desk at home with your mom, but it does mean that you don't go to school with the exact same people every day, and you don't hear all of their backgrounds and experiences. You get to kind of pick and choose what you want to do, which is both great, but also an opportunity for you to kind of miss out on some of the really important things that people bring when you are kind of put in a shared space. So I'm really excited to be at a college where I can learn about all kinds of different people.
Okay. I don't really know how to answer this question because I'm in an institutional analysis class, and we're just learning all these awful things about how, in some awful ways, how institutions can be self-reinforcing. I think what this institution means to me, from like the perspective of a student of color, a perspective of someone who maybe wasn't meant to be here in a sense. I think it's beautiful how many friends I've made, but it's also shaped me. And I've gone through some struggles I really wish I didn't have to. Yeah.
To me, I think it means learning to just be a bit uncomfortable all of the time.
This institution means I think like the obvious thing that I would respond to this is like my family lineage at Reed College.
What does this institution mean to you? Ooh. Okay. I think that Reed College is a place where I've been able to learn really holistically, a place where I've been able to like better myself and learn about myself through academia. Something that makes me really proud of Reed is connecting with my professors and feeling like they are proud of me and feeling inspired by them and feeling like they really care about the things that I have to say. Also, I think socially, like, I've found my bridesmaids, I think. I don't know. Reed is like learning and growing, but also struggling a lot. It's a lot of stress.
And what it means to be a Hanson, an Atterbury Hanson, means also being a Reedy, having 2 Reedy parents, and having a grandfather, being in academia.
I guess just getting an education and getting out.
Like, you have membership to this very, like, unique, in some ways isolated environment of learners who are all very passionate about learning. It's a very, like, I don't know how to describe it, it's a very unique place to be.
I guess not really education, but just learning. And I guess going into college, I've been told that college is what you make it. And I really tried to take that to heart because I don't believe that college, especially this college and this institution, means the same thing to everyone. And I can literally see people around me experiencing it so differently from the way I experience it.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think, despite my frustrations that I have with Reed, which are plentiful, and I could go on and on, I think at the end of this day, Reed is truly the place where, I've been able to find a community that I vibe really well with, and that I don't think I'd be able to find to the same extent anywhere else.
It means a lot. If I'm in magnitude, it's everything.
And so despite the amount of frustrations that I have, I would find those anywhere. And so both of the opportunities that I've been able to get from Reed through experiences and employment, and also through just community that I've found within my own personal life, it's truly felt like a proper home away from home for me.
I think, me personally, I work a lot with a lot of student groups and a lot of different kinds of people on campus. And for me, it's about a lot of people taking time out of their day to work towards something bigger than themselves.
This place, more than anything, has been a true test of resilience, and it's been, I want to call it a blessing, but more than a blessing, I think it's just been a lesson, and it's taught me a lot about what the broader world will look like and what my experiences will be like.
I think Reed saved my life, if I'm gonna be real. I can't get into it all right now, but a lot of people want to be the person they are without it. I know me personally, it saved my life. Yeah.
And it definitely added a lot of depth to my own understanding of myself and the world around me before I came here. Mostly for the bad, but honestly, it ends up being for the good, because this place honestly is kind of hell, but this place is realistic, and it teaches you so much that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, you meet a lot of different people at this institution, and especially when you're someone like me, you're going to be in a lot of everything is going to have some degree of discomfort to it, and it's just not backing down from that and knowing that you still have a right to be here and that you still like deserve to like go through the same processes as everybody else.
But me personally, I'm just trying to learn, and I'm trying not to let this institution take anything from me that it can. Yeah.